It's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Drive base hit out into left center field. Carson Kelly staying high. That'll bang up against the bullpen. Swanson in. Here comes Bush. Throw to the plate. Too high. Bush is in to score. And Kelly into third. It's 3-0 Cubs on top. Weighing a high fly ball out towards left center field. Vaughn going back. Thomas at the wall. And that one is gone. Oh, a towering fly ball out towards left center field. It just got into the bleachers. And for Seiya Suzuki, it is number 23. High drive. Towering into the Tuesday twilight. Shohei Ohtani, welcome home.
1-1 strike. And that's into the outfield, and that's dropping. It's caught. Sacrifice fly, 1-0 Pirates. Henry Davis brings home Key Brian Hayes.
And welcome to the afternoon show, the Sam Bourquin Show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. We are streaming live all over the world at AM 1310 WDPN.com. Couple of days away from the 4th of July. You got your fireworks. You got your items for your grill, items to fill up your cooler. Are you ready to go? It'll be here. It's coming. It's coming. All right. Phones are open at 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. You can always text the program at 330-924-7088. Sam Bourquin here, Ryan Rainsberg there. Also, hello, and thank you for joining us today if you're watching and listening on the WDPN Facebook page, the WDPN X page, and, of course, the Q92 radio page on YouTube. How are we doing out there? Beautiful day today. Oh, not even a hint of rain, dark clouds, storm warnings. The humidity's not even that bad today. This is a beautiful day, and I think it's going to be a beautiful week the rest of the way. So get out there and enjoy and do your thing. And, again, the big 4th of July coming up in a couple of days, and we are all looking forward to that.
Yeah, Sam, this is the first day in, I think, about a week and a half I have not used my air conditioner. I got up this morning and was like, oh, cool. Yeah. I don't need it. I can open a window.
Oh, cool. And pardon the pun, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Cool. Gotta love that.
Completely unintended.
Good stuff. I see LeBron James of the Portage County Country Club today. Yeah? Playing a little golf today, LeBron? Coming back to the Cavs, are you? Don't laugh. Don't laugh at what I say. All right, we got lots to get to today here on the show. The Guardians are in an absolute free fall. As some of you know, maybe most of you, and if you don't know, I'll reiterate, I'm not a huge Tom Petty fan. But that song may make the list by the end of the week with the Cleveland Guardians. I'm sure you're familiar with the song Free Fallin' by Tom Petty.
I am.
That might be the Guardians song here for the next 7 to 10 days. They are dropping 40-43, a full 12 games behind Detroit now. And I didn't even bother with the wild card standings today. I looked at them. I usually print them out, put them up here on against the on the cylinder here. I didn't even print it out today. They're cooked. A couple more errors last night. Got a runner picked off first base. Pass balls. Cubs just, they got it going, and the Guardians do not. And I think they're on national TV tonight again. I believe they are. I think it's an ESPN game. What's today? Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. So yesterday they were on. I think it was TBS last night. So the world, the nation, is getting to watch the demise of the Cleveland Guardians right in front of their very eyes. Again, they've lost 5 in a row, 3-7 in their last 10, and they got the Cubs again tonight, a little bit after 8:00 at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Tanner Bybee on the mound tonight for Cleveland. I'll tell you what, though, it's very early July. And the Chicago Cubs are playing really good ball. We know the Chicago Cubs won the World Series in 2016. And the energy, the vibe, the electricity in Wrigley Field. Folks, it's unbelievable. And I don't know if you watched the game last night, if you listened to it. I listened to probably about 3 or 4 innings last night. In the car, and you could just feel the buzz. Like it feels like playoff baseball, and it's not. Like I said, it's the 1st of July, but just the noise level, and that you can feel it through the car speakers, the television. They love their Chicago Cubs. Remember, they used to be all the poor Cubbies, they couldn't win a World Series. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Well, they got one in 2016 at our expense. But, love them, hate them, respect them. Wrigley Field, and gosh, I need to get there before, it's too late. What a vibe in that stadium last night. Just imagine, we know what it was like during the 16 World Series. Man, it's just a hopping, happening place. Every game. It doesn't matter if it's the Guardians. It could be the hated Cardinals, the Brewers, the Phillies, the Dodgers. Could be the Rays. That place is always jumping. And I wanted to, you almost just kind of had to enjoy it just for a little bit. You could even tell when I was listening to the game last night, Hammy on the radio call, and you could tell he was how many years has Tom Hamilton been doing this? 30 plus? He's going into the Broadcasters Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, for baseball. And you could tell, like, the electricity overtook him. And here's a guy who's, obviously pulling for the Guardians. And he almost just couldn't help his enthusiasm when the Cubs were getting hits and scoring runs, and the crowd at Wrigley Field was going wild. But it's going to be a tough place tonight, tough place tomorrow. Then Detroit. Things are slowly but surely slipping away from Cleveland. And I don't know if you've noticed, because they don't really do the post-game shows anymore on for the away games on Cleveland Guardians TV. Every once in a while, you get a 2 or 3 minute snippet of Stephen Vogt. Some nights you don't. And I don't know if you've been listening to his press conferences or you've been watching them, if you've been able to. He looks a little. It's a combination of down, perplexed, annoyed, unsure. He's battling. He's going through some stuff right now. He didn't have to go through this last year. Remember, last year was as magical can be. But even some of the simplest questions now you can tell it's kind of getting to him a little bit. So he is facing some adversity as well. And hey, that's all part of it. Last year it was roses and bouquets and attaboy and we don't miss Tito, and you go to the American League Championship Series. Well, you shed payroll, you get rid of power, you come back thinking you're going to do it again the same way you did a year ago, and reality smacks you right in the face. And I think Stephen Vogt's going through some problems now as well, just like the whole team is. Just like I'm sure they are upstairs in the front office. Say, hey, this is the bag we were given to work with. Now we gotta figure out a way. And do we make this decision here in a couple of weeks to, start selling off some pieces, parts, and maybe play the string out, so to speak. Bring some of the young kids up from Akron, Canton, bring up a couple of the kids from Columbus, and let them go and see what they get you. And then you start entertaining the likes of maybe trading your closer, okay? Emmanuel Clase, you think about what kind of value you could get for Stephen Kwan. Remember, Stephen Kwan is still under contract for a couple of more years. But if you know he's not going to re-sign, and he's maybe your only trade piece, because you're certainly not going to completely blow this thing up and put Jose Ramirez on the market, you got to be thinking about Clase, you got to be thinking about Kwan. What could you get for those guys in return and build this thing back up again? I know you got some guys coming back from injury, but come on. Trevor Stephan, and what is that really going to do? Okay? Bieber, I think, is a lot further away than we thought he was. And let's face it, we're almost to July 4th. Okay? All-Star game's coming up here in a couple of weeks. Might be time to start thinking about next year. How about Matthew Boyd last night for the Cubs? He looked good in a Guardians uniform, wouldn't he? 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, struck out 5 and walked 1. Gavin Williams last night, again, control problems for the big man. 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, struck out 2, but he walked 4. He is not commanding his pitches at all. That was a rough night last night. Rough night. Packed house, by the way, just under 39,000 at Wrigley Field last night. So we'll try it again today. Bybee, 4-8 and a 3.90 earned run average. Amenga on the mound for the Cubbies, 4-2 and a 2.54 earned run average. 8:05 first pitch tonight. And again, I believe this thing is on national TV. It is. It's on the 4-letter ESPN. All right, there is a lot of baseball going on today. Getaway. Teams getting ready for their travel day tomorrow and getting ready for 4th of July festivities and the like. And Philadelphia today, Padres lead the Phillies 6-3, bottom 7. The Tigers, oh my gosh, 11-2 over the Nationals in the top of the 7th inning. Brewers lead the Mets 7-2 in the 8th, and the Red Sox and the Reds are 3-3 in the top of the 7th inning. Padres and Phillies will actually play another game today at 6:15 because last night's game got washed away because of weather. I did tune in last night. It was late, and I was just, looking around. Hey, what's on? What's on? I know there's not a lot, but I'll find something. And I happened to land on the MLB network last night, and boom, the Chicago White Sox and the Los Angeles Dodgers were playing. Soon as I put the channel on, Shohei Ohtani comes up and whacks one out of the yard, about 450 feet to right center field. Man, is he is something. He really is. A couple of other scores just gone final. Rays beat the A's 6-5. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are making a little move now. They shut out the Cardinals today by the score of 5-0. So we got you all caught up with the baseball, and we'll continue to talk a little Guards here throughout the afternoon. What they should do. What do you think the front office should do? And would you be willing to part with Emmanuel Clase? Would you be ready to move on without Stephen Kwan if you knew you could get as much as you could for these two guys now and start the process over again? So we will definitely get into that. Hey, the New York Knicks. Sound the alarms in New York City. No, not for the Diddy trial. That's in Manhattan. Mike Brown is the new head coach of the New York Knicks. The national media is crowning the New York Knicks right now, not in a good way. Basically, a lot of the talking heads that I've listened to and heard the last 45 minutes, reading comments and quotes, they're saying, so you gave up Tom Thibodeau to hire Mike Brown. That's basically what the national people are doing. You got rid of Tom Thibodeau, and you brought in Mike Brown. And that's pretty much exactly what the New York Knicks did. Mike Brown, two-time coach for the Cavs, coach of the Kings. He's been an assistant coach on several teams. I don't know if my guy is going to be able to handle it in New York City. I just don't know if he's going to handle it, especially the Knicks coming off the year they did a year ago, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. And now Tom Thibodeau is gone. And now you bring just about the whole gang back. You didn't really address anything. And now Mike Brown is going to be your new head coach. Would have swore it was going to be Mike Malone. Didn't happen. Thought it might be Taylor Jenkins. Didn't happen. So Mike Brown will be patrolling the sidelines at Madison Square Garden. How about that? Also today, the Diddy verdict is in. We'll be talking about that a little bit this afternoon, as well as also our Sam Bourquin Show poll question of the day. All you have to do is go to X, AM 1310 WDPN, or you can check me out at Sam Bourquin 16 on Twitter as well. The Diddy verdict has been revealed. Not guilty on the three of the most serious charges. He was found guilty on the lesser two. Imagine that. How you feeling about the Diddy verdict today? A, are you happy? B, are you surprised? C, not surprised. D, disgusted. How you feeling about the verdict today delivered in Manhattan court on Sean Diddy Combs? Not guilty on three of the most serious charges, found guilty on two. We'll go down the verdict. I'll read the verdict piece by piece, and we'll have a little discussion on that. So far, the early returns, happy, 0%. Surprised, 11%. Not surprised, 49%. Disgusted, 40%. Rainsburg, what'd you think? You kind of thought it was going to be about like this, yes?
Pretty much. I would say I'm a combination of C and D. I am not surprised, but I am still disgusted.
That seems to be
the consensus.
The consensus on most people with social media. Now, I did see a clip. I don't know if it was TMZ. It may have been Fox. It might have been Variety. I'm not sure. There were people outside the court in Manhattan today when the verdict was released and it started making its way around. There were people that were, they were squirting baby oil on each other and they were dancing around and celebrating. Can't make this stuff up, folks. It happened.
Yeah, I heard when the verdict came in that Diddy got up and started clapping, and then there was applause in the courtroom, which
it's a
rough day today.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised at all.
You see what power, you see what money, you see what it does. We've seen it before.
I can think of a better D word here than disgusted. I am defeated.
Defeated. You feel defeated.
Feeling very defeated.
Rainsburg is going to pack it in today. He's feeling defeated. So we'll talk about that, but I do want to get your thoughts on the verdict today. How you feeling about it? Happy, surprised, not surprised, or disgusted? You can let us know. 330-821-1310. You can text your opinion in as well at 330-924-7088. Also, coming up a little bit later on today, my man, R.J. Van Almen. He is the man about town. He should run for mayor someday, and he might. He'll be joining us at 4:10 today to talk about the Canton City Schools Hall of Distinction. Really cool event they've got coming up. A great inaugural class that is going in, and we're going to link up literally with RJ coming up here at about 4:10 this afternoon here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. So get ready for that. A little bit later on today, on this day in sports history. And, of course, I want to take a little deeper dive today. We didn't have time yesterday, but I've gathered some more information on this Malik Beasley, the NBA player who was being looked at, scrutinized, investigated on gambling charges and betting on NBA games. And holy cow, some of the stuff that was uncovered in a couple of stories that were written, especially one of them, I believe it was the Detroit Free Press or the Detroit News. This guy's in big trouble. Big trouble with the amount of money that he owes, some of the transactions that were made. And it was all traceable. It was all on betting apps, things that were, closing out loans. I mean, it's the Detroit News. And I'm going to read some of this coming back here after the break. I knew he was in trouble, but he's in big trouble. Like, he's in big financial trouble. And now if, this investigation, well, we just saw what happened to Diddy today. But we'll see what happens here. I did reach out to Tim Donaghy last night and again today. Remember the Tim Donaghy, the official who was kind of banned from officiating in the NBA? And I've talked to Tim before when I hosted my show up in Akron. He would come on, once in a while to talk about cases like this that were going on in sports in the NBA. What things looked like to people that were just fans of the league and what they saw as far as player, betting, and now with all these sports books out there, DraftKings and FanDuel and MGM and all this stuff going on now. I did reach out to Tim a couple of times. I have not heard back. I will continue to extend the branch and see if he wants to come on and talk about the latest situation in the NBA. All right, we got lots to get to today. Lots to get to. Want to hear from you. 330-821-1310. The news, latest on the Diddy verdict. We've got the weather and a whole lot more coming your way. Hang out, kick back, relax, and let's have some fun here on the Sam Bourquin Show. 1310 WDPN.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. Sean Diddy Combs has been acquitted on the most serious charges against him today. The jury only found him guilty of prostitution-related crimes. Those convictions each carry a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. More from ABC's Aaron Katursky outside court.
He said these women were in it, and it required the jury to make distinctions between consent and coercion and love and control and free will. And in the end, they acquit on the most serious charges that carried a minimum sentence of 15 years, acquitting on sex trafficking in addition to the racketeering conspiracy.
Brian Kohberger has pleaded guilty to murder in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. He entered the plea today in a deal with prosecutors that will allow him to avoid the death penalty. Kohberger had been set to stand trial next month. He remained impassive as he confirmed to the judge that he stabbed the 4 victims. Kohberger was a graduate student at nearby Washington State University when prosecutors say he sneaked into a rental home in Moscow, Idaho, and stabbed the 4 students. Killings terrified the campus and set off a nationwide search in 2022. No motive has emerged for the killings. In an effort to meet the GOP's own July 4th deadline for passage, House Speaker Mike Johnson intends to put the Senate-passed tax policy package known as the One Big Beautiful Bill on the House floor today. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy reports from Washington and says it's quite a gamble for the Speaker.
The conservative House Freedom Caucus complains that the Senate version of the bill would lead to even greater deficits than what the House passed in late May. The Congressional Budget Office now says the package, as amended, would add $3.4 trillion to deficits over a decade. Speaker Mike Johnson says he's having great conversations with concerned colleagues, but he's urging GOP holdouts to yield on their personal preferences.
We can't make everyone 100% happy. It's impossible.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed there will be no Hamas in post-war Gaza. He made the comments today. President Trump said Tuesday that Israel had agreed on terms for a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza and urged Hamas to accept the deal before conditions worsen. Trump has been increasing pressure on the Israeli government and Hamas to broker a ceasefire as well as hostage agreement and bring about an end to the war. Hamas said in a brief statement today that it had received a proposal from the mediators and is holding talks with them to bridge gaps to return to the negotiating table to try to reach a ceasefire agreement. It's 83 degrees and Alliance at 332. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Forecast for this afternoon calling for sunny skies and a high near 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, a low around 64. Thursday, a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, otherwise sunny with a high near 84. Friday, Independence Day, sunshine, a high of 85. More sun Saturday, a high of 88. That's your WDPN weather.
America, our military is sacrificing for our freedom. Please take time to remember our men and women fighting overseas. This salute courtesy of Wisman's Apex Tree Service in New Franklin, where they specialize in residential and commercial tree removals, proper pruning, and tree maintenance. Like them on Facebook and visit them online at apextreeohio.com or call 330-807-8398. 330-807-8398. Wisman's Apex Tree Service is on the air saluting our troops.
Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. AM 1310 WDPN. We're streaming live all over the world at AM1310WDPN.com. Guardians Cubs tonight, game 2 of that 3-game series at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Then they'll play tomorrow. Then it's off to Detroit for the rest of the weekend as the Guardians will take on the Tigers at Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number, 330-821-1310. Sam, funny, I thought the same thing about Wrigley Field last night. When I was coming on today, I talked about the unbelievable, infectious vibe at Wrigley Field last night. It's the Guardians and the Cubs on a Tuesday night, July the 1st. That play, you would thought it was the Game 7 all over again. The vibe was just incredible. And Doug says he thought the same thing about last night as he listened. He says it reminded me of Jacobs Field in 1995. On a side note, the Guardians keep trotting out the same folks that aren't hitting. Meanwhile, DeLauder and Kafis and others are still in Columbus. Absolutely mind-boggling. Please sell the team in all caps and an exclamation point. Point taken and point understood. But they are not going to be sold anytime soon. I can tell you that. It's a tough watch. It's a tough watch. The team that's, I think their average, their batting average, the average of the team is like 204. 205 on a good day. And again, I hate to sound like a broken record. If you didn't have Kwan's batting average and Jose Ramirez's batting average, it would be about $175. And now the miscues in the field. Getting picked off at first base. That's a sin. Bo Naylor has had more passed balls than I can remember. Mental mistakes. Physical mistakes. So you couple that with no hitting, no power, no run production. And now we're starting to see the pitching staff not have command of their pitches. We're seeing guys walk way too many batters a game. very, very high pitch counts early in the game. So that leads to an earlier exit. That leads to an earlier period in the game of going down to the bullpen. Now those guys are going to get worn out. And keep in mind, the Guardians are going to play 13 days in a row, unless, weather would happen to get in the way. No days off. You're talking about almost 2 consecutive weeks, no days off. You know what that does to a pitching staff? A bullpen, long relief, middle relief, closers. Forget about the closers. You got to have the lead to put those guys in. But think about the middle relief and long relief of this team right now. If you go 2 consecutive weeks and your pitchers they're starting off terribly, and you got to go get them by the 3rd or 4th inning. Now you're going down to the pen in the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. And by the time you look at your scorecard, you're like, oh, there's nobody left except Cade Smith and Emmanuel Clase. Everybody else is being used because our starting pitching is just not getting it done. Bibby's not getting it done. Gavin Williams is not getting it done. They're not. And the walks, oh my gosh, Stephen Vogt's got to be going out of his mind. Notice Voters got a little more gray in the beard here the last 5 weeks. Have you noticed that? Don't adjust the tint on your television. That's gray. My man is going through a rough patch right now. And I kind of feel bad for him because I don't want to say last year was easy, but there was really no bumps, no major bumps in the road. There was really no crazy adversity a year ago. And if it was a little bit, it just got nipped in the bud, and they just kept on going. Kept on playing. Remember last year when the Guardians would get behind? You really never thought about, oh, can they come back? Will they come back? It was, okay, what inning are we going to turn the juice on and get a couple of runs and get out of here with a win? Now, like last night, I was listening to the game in the car. It was the top of the 2nd inning. Wrigley Field was just roaring. Nothing even happened yet. And the Cubs put 3 on the board. And I'm like, this game's over. I said, this game is over. And then the Guardians get it to 3-2. Missed a couple of opportunities. Cubs get a couple of late runs. And, in fact, the game was over. If Cleveland gets behind, I don't know what the stat is. There's a lot of different stats you could break down here. But when the Guardians fall behind, let's just say by 3 or more runs before the 3rd or 4th inning, it's good night, Charlie. It is. It's Katie bar the door. Turn out the lights. Throw the key. Anything you want to use. That's what it feels like. And when I don't have any kind of faith, when I don't think that my team could come back, and we're still in the 4th inning, that's not a good feeling. I know that's not the right feeling to have. That's not a positive outlook. But it is what it is. You get behind early, you're cooked. Our pitchers, they probably started getting tensed up after they give up a run or a walk. It's probably going to come around and score. And if the team scores a couple more against you, now you're coming into the dugout going, oh my God, we're down 3 already. And then you go over, you look at the lineup card that's taped up on the inside of the dugout wall, and you say, yeah, we're not coming back tonight with this lineup. We're not coming back tonight with those pinch hitting availabilities. And you just got to keep slugging your way through. But it's hard. You know, they talk about the dog days of August. This feels like the dog days of August right now. And it's July the 2nd. That's what it feels like. And the weather's beautiful. The humidity is low. The sun is nice and warm. The skies are blue. This feels like the dog days of August if you're a Guardians fan or maybe a player. You're looking at the standings in the division. You're looking at the standings with the wild card. You are looking at your team batting average. You're looking at the whip numbers of your pitching staff. You're looking at your fielding percentage. And you're like, what the hell's going on? Are we going to be able to climb out of this mess? And the answer is no. The answer is no. You keep thinking, you keep hoping, you keep wishing, they're going to get hot. They're going to surprise us. They're going to get 4 out of the next 5. They're going to win 9 of the next 12. Some of the other teams in front of us in the wild card, Toronto, Boston, Tampa, Minnesota, Seattle, they're going to fall back, and we're going to turn it on, man. We're going to turn it on just like we did a year ago. I don't get that feeling. And more importantly, I don't believe that feeling. I don't believe anybody shares that feeling in the clubhouse right now. Remember they had that players-only meeting? What was that? After the game last Friday or Saturday? It was one of those days they were at home. Got beat, had a players-only meeting. Oh, it was after the game on Friday night. And they came to the ballpark Saturday, remember? And they took a 6-1 lead. And the Cardinals come back and beat them 9-6. Then they got shut out on Sunday. They had a day off on Monday. They get beat 5-2 yesterday. So much for that team meeting. And we don't know what goes on inside those walls. It's really none of our business. There's no manager, there's no coach, there's no owner, there's no general manager inside those walls. It's a players-only meeting. They called it. I don't know what was discussed. I don't know if things got heated. I don't know if it was just, voicing of opinions. I don't know. But I thought maybe it worked, at least for about an hour and a half against the Cardinals last Saturday afternoon. That meeting did good from about 4:10 to 5:30, and then it was over. And ever since now, the Guardians have gone 3-7. And at some point, I know a lot of the fans are already there, but at some point, the people upstairs are going to have to make some tough decisions. You're going to have to decide whether you want to chase a possible wild card, maybe to just get your butt beat the first round, or do you decide to sell off, make some hard decisions, move some key personnel, and try to rebuild this thing back up a little bit? You're certainly not going to buy. You're in no position to buy. You don't have any money to buy. And quite frankly, there are so many teams still left that, quote unquote, have a chance that it's not going to be a buyer's market anyway. So that's another strike against you there. But you really, if you're a baseball fan, and if you're a Guardians fan, you know what I'm talking about. You cannot keep running the same guys out there every single night, hoping, wishing, and praying that they're going to do something else, because they have proven that they won't. They can't. We're 83 games into the season. These guys, look, Leopards aren't going to change their spots. They're not going to change. They are who they are. We've got a bunch of 200 hitters, except for Quan and Hosey. We've got guys with ERAs that are circling 4 and over 4.5 and close to 5. We've got guys that are walking way too many people. Way too many people. And now it's the mental mistakes, the physical mistakes, and you compound that with not being able to hit out yourself out of a wet paper bag, this is what you got. 3.7 runs a game, 7 hits a game. Your average is 205. 225, I'm sorry. 24th in the league. Slugging percentage is 364, 28th in the league. Your OPS is 661, 28th in the league. You're 22nd in the league in home runs with 81. You've stolen a few bases. You're 65. But you know what you say? The numbers don't lie. The tape don't lie. The video doesn't lie. And if you've watched this team enough this year, you know that besides Steven Kwan, who's batting .311, Jose Ramirez is batting .302. And then it all goes to you-know-where in a handbasket. Santana, 271. Arias, 255. Manzardo, 240. Martinez, 224. Oh, now it really gets sexy. Nolan Jones at 191. Bo Naylor, 187. Daniel Schneemann, 184. Lane Thomas, 116. Good grief. Might be time. Might be time to make a little call down to Columbus and say, Mr. DeLauder, Mr. Kafis, come on up. You're gonna play in the big leagues now here. Juan Brito, come on up. Let's see what you got. What do you got to lose at this point? I say not much. Coming up on 10 minutes until the top of the hour. Phones are open 330-821-1310. You can text at 330-924-7088. The Sam Bourquin Show poll question of the day. What are your thoughts on the Diddy verdict today that was delivered a couple of hours ago at the court in Upper Manhattan? 3 not guilties, 2 guilties. But the 3 not guilties, those were the most serious charges that were there. How you feeling about the verdict? Happy, surprised, not surprised, or disgusted? Let us know. We'll get into it when we get back. It's the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN and stream it live at AM1310WDPN.com.
Music and intelligence for your life.
No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room. Join me for Music and Intelligence for Your Life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
You heard it on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Standing at the edge of a rocky shore, you breathe in the cool, salty air, watching the sun disappear on the horizon. Across the globe, someone begins their day along a sandy beach, listening to the rhythm of the crashing waves. You each envision a world beneath the water, vibrant life in every imaginable form. Now, imagine it's all gone. What was once a place of wonder and beauty is now a dull, lifeless wasteland. Food, jobs, medicine, all gifts from the ocean, all gone. Time is running out to protect our oceans, and without our love, everything the oceans provide can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our oceans. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Get on board. The water is open. It's time to go boating and fishing and leave stress in our wake. Feel the wind as we ride and a fish on the line. Reel in our first catch and feel the sun at our backs. It's get out on the water season. It's time to get on board. Find out where to get on board near you. Visit Take Me Fishing and Discover Boating to learn more. And please recreate responsibly.
Get on board. Get on board.
AM 1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Pardon my laughter. I just had a little quick giggle when that song came on.
Sam's letting me surprise him with all the bumper music.
Yes. So far you are batting 1,000. You're 2 for 2.
Fantastic.
I might even take more breaks today just so we can come back with more music. How's that sound? DJ Rainsburg over there on the ones and the twos. 330-821-1310 is the telephone number. Just scrolling around here on my phone, and you know what I'm in the mood for maybe in a couple of weeks is something that we haven't done as a family. I believe, my God, I bet it's been 10 years, maybe even later than that, longer than that. I want to go to the drive-in theater and go see a double feature on a nice night. Get the chairs out. Bring a couple bags of whatever to eat. Bring some drinks down and just sit outside and watch a couple of movies. And if I fall asleep in the chair, then so be it. I'm telling you, I just ran across a little advertisement for one of the area, well, maybe one of the only area drive-thrus around. And I saw that the movies that they were showing, I'm like, man, that just sounds so fun right now. It really does. When's the last time any of you been to a drive-in? It's still very popular. Really is. Now, we go to the movies a lot at the theater, which I love, we enjoy, and we will continue to do so. I guess maybe it seems like, I don't know, it seems more effort to pack things up and to put the chairs in the car and you know, pack food and drinks and whatever and drive. I don't know. Maybe it just feels like it's more work. But I am really in the mood to go to a drive-thru. And I know it gets crazy on the weekends. Crazy. And you're looking at, you know, you got to get there early because you want to get yourself a good spot. And then you can't start the movies until, what, 9? Probably. And let's just say you got an hour and a half, hour and 45. That takes you to 11. Then there's a little break. And about 11:15, 11:30, they fire the next one up. And pretty soon you're looking at your clock going, holy Moses, it's 1:30 in the morning. Yeah. Now you know you're at the drive-thru, baby. Get the sleep out of your eye. Pack up the car. And here we go. Back home we go. That just sounds like fun. I'm gonna put in a bid. I'm gonna put in a request with the family before school starts that we go hit the drive-in at least once. I think once would cure the ills. But it's been a long time. I can't even remember what we saw. I remember the first drive-in movie I ever went to in my life. I was 6. It was myself, my sister, and our mom and dad. Route 30 drive-in. We saw Jaws. And remember now, this is the 50-year anniversary of the movie Jaws. I was 6. My sister was 5. And just imagine a couple of young whippersnappers at a drive-in in the dark, and you're hearing, Oh, man, I was scared to death. But I loved that. I remember that first scene. What was the act? Chrissy Watkins was her name. That's what her name was in the movie. And she's out in the ocean or whatever. And the light was hitting it just perfect to where you were scared to death before the music even started. The way the moonlight, I mean, the cinematography for 1975 was incredible.
That scene is classic.
It is.
It really is.
It really is. And all of a sudden, she starts like jerking and going down under the water, and she comes back up. You can see the white in her eyes. And now it's just a little darker. And the dude is up on the beach. He's passed out. He can't get his shirt off. He don't know what the hell he's doing. Meanwhile, old Jaws is getting ready to make a move. And that poor girl, she goes under again. She goes under again. She's trying to get out. She's squirming. She's jumping. She's jerking around. She goes down again. And now she just starts to scream, screaming at the top of her lungs, and nobody can help her. And I'm thinking, oh, my God. And then she goes down for the final time. And you're waiting. Nothing happens. A couple of bubbles come to the surface. There's the blood in the water. Homie up on the beach finally figures out what day it is. He starts going toward the water. It's too late. It's over. What an opening scene. And I was scared to death. I was like, okay, I've seen enough. We can go home now. It's about 9:30. Let's turn this car on and get out of here. But I'm glad we did. I'm glad we stayed, and I enjoyed Jaws, and I've enjoyed watching it every year since. And I'll watch it again. I'll watch it again here this summer.
Jaws has aged beautifully.
It has.
It really has.
It has, and I think about some of the great some of the great actors and actresses in the movie, some of the great lines, some of the great cinematography. I mean, Chief Brody, Richard Dreyfuss was Hoopa. Remember him? Captain Quint. The wife was Lorraine Gray. Who was the guy that he never wanted to shut anything down? The guy on the beach with the suit on, with the cheap leisure suit.
Yeah, I can never remember.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. It's been a while.
He didn't want to shut the beach down. I mean, it was just a fantastic movie. I wouldn't mind going and seeing that at the drive-in again. Honestly, I think that'd be a hoot. All right, we're going to take a break. News and weather coming up. The latest on the Diddy verdict on the news. Don't forget, my guy, RJ Van Almen, is going to join us live video stream at about 4:10 today. He's going to talk about the Kansas City Schools Hall of Distinction, their inaugural class. We'll tell you who's in it, how this came about, and maybe RJ and I will share some memories of Pro Football Hall of Fame festivals of the past, if I can get him to do that. All right, we'll take a break. News and weather coming up. It's the Sam Bourquin Show on a Wednesday, 1310 WDPN. Stay with us.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Jurors returned a split verdict in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, acquitting him on the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. But the jury found Combs guilty of prostitution-related charges. ABC's Aaron Katursky is in Lower Manhattan.
All Sean Combs has been convicted of here is transportation for the purposes of prostitution. And those did seem to be the most evident crimes that Sean Combs committed. We heard testimony from the male escorts. The jury heard about the cash that they were paid, and as prosecutors told them, they were not in those hotel rooms for scintillating conversation.
Combs faces up to 20 years in prison. Combs' attorneys now trying to get a bail hearing set for later this afternoon. Legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer on his chances of going free.
I do not believe he's a risk to not come back to court. I think if anything, he is elated.
Combs' family, after the verdict, say they're happy. This is ABC News.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. A Canton man has been formally charged with a shooting that claimed another man's life. The Stark County grand jury indicted 18-year-old Malachi Fortner on charges of murder, felonious assault, having weapons under disability, and carrying a concealed weapon. He is scheduled for arraignment tomorrow in Common Pleas Court. The charges stem from the killing of 21-year-old Stefan Dunn of Canton. Canton police found him shot along Clarendon Avenue Southwest May 8th. Dunn was taken to Almen Hospital, where he died shortly thereafter. Fortner was arrested the next day. He's being held in the county jail on $200,000 bond. Perry Township Police say a vehicle belonging to 48-year-old Chad Poland was found in West Virginia. Wood County Sheriff's deputies discovered the blue 2016 Honda Accord at the Mount Wood Park volleyball area last Friday. A caller reported the vehicle had been parked in the lot for several days. The site is about 30 minutes south of Marietta. Authorities say a search of the area found no signs of Poland's location. He was last seen walking away from his home in the Perry Hills Colony Apartments around 6:30 a.m. June 19th. Poland is a disabled veteran and requires medication. Anyone with information should call Perry Township Police at 330-478-5121. The treasurer of the Lake Local School District has a new contract. The Board of Education Monday approved a 5-year agreement for Nicole Nichols. Terms have not been finalized. Nichols has served as the district's treasurer since August 2013. Her contract is effective August 1st, 2026. A man who allegedly injured a Latonia police officer faces an additional mental evaluation. Officer John Hancock suffered a broken ankle and a head injury in an October attack. 47-year-old Randy May of Latonia allegedly assaulted him with a metal bar during a traffic stop. He was originally charged with felonious assault. May was indicted on a new count of aggravated robbery last month for allegedly attempting to take the officer's service weapon. The new evaluation will determine May's state at the time of the incident. He was declared not competent to stand trial last fall and was ordered to Heartland Behavioral Health in Massillon. May was restored to competency. A former Liverpool Township police officer charged with domestic violence is forced to wait for his case to move forward. 52-year-old Jason Jackson of Liverpool Township was scheduled for a status conference hearing July 10th and a trial July 16th. Those dates in Columbiana County Municipal Court have been postponed until August 5th and 13th, respectively. Officials cite a change in the court's schedule. On December 4th, Liverpool Township police were called to Jackson's home. He allegedly choked a woman and gave her a bloody nose. Jackson denied the accusations and said they had been drinking. He is free on $20,000 bond. Investigators have a person of interest in an apparent road rage incident in Canfield Township. The Mahoning County Sheriff's Office says it happened around 11 p.m. Tuesday. Trouble started near West Boulevard and Route 224 in Boardman Township, and the people involved drove to a fast food restaurant on 224 near Canfield. The alleged victim was attempting to leave when the suspect pulled a gun and began shooting. No one was hurt. The suspect vehicle was spotted by a Boardman police officer. The car sped away from an attempted traffic stop. A chase was called off after a few minutes. An investigation continues. The Ohio Attorney General's office says 13 healthcare providers allegedly defrauded Medicaid. One of them is 37-year-old Janae Veal of Youngstown. She's accused of billing for services after removing herself from a recipient's plan of care. Veal also allegedly billed for days in which a relative of the recipient provided the services. She is charged with Medicaid fraud and theft. Veal's case is being heard in Franklin County Court. 12 health aides and one behavioral health specialist are accused of billing the government health care program for a total of about $189,000 in services they did not provide. The charges followed an investigation by the Attorney General's office. John White is not eligible to run as an independent candidate for mayor in Youngstown. That's the opinion of the city's law department, which determined he cannot appear on the November ballot. Officials say White failed to meet voting and residency requirements. Mayoral candidates must be a city resident and registered to vote there for 5 years. The law department says White won't be eligible to run until at least 2026. The Mahoning County Board of Elections will meet Tuesday to certify independent candidates. In 2021, White was deemed ineligible to run for mayor for the same reasons. An argument between a man and woman is being cited as the cause of an incident in which a vehicle struck a building in Youngstown. Police say it happened early Monday on Plaza View Court on the city's east side. Responding officers found a vehicle had hit the side of a building and left a trail of debris. A woman said she was involved in a dispute with her boyfriend when her brother got involved, and the boyfriend allegedly pulled a gun. Police say she jumped into the car and began to drive away, and he attempted to grab the steering wheel. The vehicle went off the road and struck a fence and the building. A security camera captured the incident. The man and woman fled on foot. A Canfield Springfield man charged with raping a child has returned to court. 45-year-old Ryan Axelson was in Niles Municipal Court today for a preliminary hearing. He was arraigned Tuesday on a rape charge. The alleged incident occurred in Niles. Police responded Monday to Akron Children's Hospital in Boardman for reports of a child who was the victim of a sexual assault. Axelson is jailed on $2 million bond. It's 83 degrees in Alliance at 4:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. The forecast is next, a service of Canterbury Villa of Alliance. I'm Jeff Mears.
This WDPN weather is brought to you by Canterbury Villa of Alliance, where your loved ones become family. Schedule a free visit today by calling 330-821-4000.
Sunshine in the forecast for this afternoon. Today's high around 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 64. Thursday, a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine, a high of 84. For Independence Day Friday, sunshine, a high of 85. Mostly sunny skies Saturday, a high of 88. That's your WDPN weather.
Send your loved ones to a place that cares and a place that they can trust. They'll find a place that feels like home at Canterbury Villa in Alliance. They will provide the highest level of care to their residents when it comes to skilled nursing, rehabilitation, long-term care, and Alzheimer's care. At Canterbury Villa, your loved ones become family. Located on Freshley Avenue, schedule a free visit today by calling 330-821-4000 and ask for Samantha Nutter. At Canterbury Villa, they walk the talk.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Drive base hit out into left center field. Carson Kelly staying high. That'll bang up against the bullpen. Swanson in. Here comes Bush. Throw to the plate. Too high. Bush is in to score. And Kelly into third. It's 3-0. Cubs on top. Wang and a high fly ball out towards left center field. Vaughn going back. Thomas at the wall. And that one is gone. Oh, a towering fly ball out towards left center field. It just got into the bleachers. And for Seiya Suzuki, it is number 23. High drive. Towering into the Tuesday twilight. Shohei Ohtani, welcome home.
1 ball, 1 strike. And that's into the outfield, and that's dropping. It's caught. Sacrifice fly, 1-0 Pirates. Henry Davis brings home Key Brian Hayes.
Oh, the stuff that goes on here during the breaks. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Hello, everybody. 1310 WDPN. We're streaming live all over the world at AM1310WDPN.com. Phone lines are open, 330-821-1310. Text line open as well at 330-924-7088. RJ Van Almen is going to be joining us here in about a minute. We're going to talk about Canton City Schools Hall of Distinction, their inaugural class, and how that came to be, who's in the class, and what else is cooking. RJ is the man in the know. We'll have him on here in just a minute. Guardians and Cubs tonight, game 2 of that series at 8:05. Bybee on the mound for Cleveland. They are 3-7 in their last 10. Mike Brown has been named the new head coach of the New York Knicks. That coming down about an hour ago. I don't think that's going to be a great fit there, but that's what the Knicks are going with. So congrats to Mike Brown, the new head coach of New York. The Diddy verdict is in. Not guilty on 3 of the most serious charges. Guilty on 2 of the lesser. More information as that comes to be. We'll pass it along to you here during the show, and of course at the top and bottom of the hour news with Jeff Mears on 1310 WDPN. A little bit later on today, on this day in sports history, and our poll question of the day: the Diddy verdict is in. How you feeling about that? A, happy. B, surprised. C, not surprised. D, disgusted. Let us know on all the 1310 WDPN social media platforms. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier. Walsh University is going to be adding swimming and diving to their sports programs. That announcement was made a couple of hours ago by their AD, Christina Payon. So congratulations to Walsh University. Now swimming and diving, a part of their sports programs. All right, without any further ado, let's bring on the soon-to-be mayor of the city of Archie Van Holman, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. What's up, my man? How are you today?
Not much. Good. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good, too. What
Good.
the heck? So I wanted to have you on to talk about the Hall of Distinction. We maybe go down a couple of other avenues and have a little fun here this afternoon. But how did this whole thing get started? Because I've said for, I don't know, a couple of years at different stops that I was surprised that schools or districts or whatever that didn't have like halls of distinction or halls of fame, whether it was for athletics, academics, and you're starting to see these things get in motion and start to happen now. So what was the star that started to stir the drink as far as the Canton City Schools and McKinley, and what's going on with the Hall of Distinction?
Sure, absolutely. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to nominate a friend of mine for the Plain Local School Hall of Distinction. He was inducted. I had the opportunity to introduce him at their event that was held on the campus of the Hall of Fame Village. And being a part of that celebration, it really blew me away by how professional it was, how fantastic they treated their guests, what an outstanding job they did recognizing individuals that have gone on and have done some outstanding things in their careers after their time in Plain Local Schools. So it got me thinking, why aren't we doing this at Canton McKinley? Hall of Distinction at Timken, Hall of Distinction at Almen, Hall of Distinction at Almen. All three of the former Canton City School high schools all have a Hall of Distinction. We do not. Of course, Canton McKinley is known for the outstanding athletes that have come through the doors, many of them ending up in the professional ranks. But we have a long list of individuals that have been outstanding in other professions. And I just thought that it was time that we start discussing celebrating these individuals. So I was fortunate enough to, get a hold of Superintendent Talbert and discuss this. Asked me to put together a mission statement. Asked me to put together, some information on how we could make this happen. He considered it. He gave me a call. I said, it's time to move forward with this. Let's put together a group of individuals. So we reached out to, Lisa Rakowski, Heather Heater, Kim Brown, Scott Russ, Antonio Hall, Eric Lockery. And we started to meet. We started to discuss a Hall of Distinction. Started to discuss the outstanding individuals that have passed through the halls at Canton McKinley High School. And after months of evaluating that list and studying the bios of those individuals, we were able to come up with 25 individuals that we want to recognize through our heritage class, those individuals that are no longer with us, but certainly deserve to be recognized. And we put together a list of current members that are still with us, and we have 10 of those. So we were very fortunate with the group that we had. We were all on the same page. There was no knockdown, drag out fights. We believe that everybody that we had on our original list of now nearly 90 people, and that list didn't even come from the community. That was just a list of people off the top of our heads that we knew made significant contributions. And, we were able to start that list, and we agreed with each other. Certainly we have a lot of outstanding people to recognize in the future, but there was no ifs, ands, or buts. The class that we're going to induct this year, we were all in agreement with. So we're excited about that.
Well, you got a great class. I wasn't aware that there was 25. That is a huge class. But when you're starting something like this, you want to go big and you want to kind of grow it out from there. But Akbar Bennett, Manny Halkias, Eddie Levert, Josh McDaniels, just to name a few. If you want to mention some more of the class, we would love to hear those. And how excited are these individuals to be coming in with the inaugural class, something cool like this?
Well, I'll start by going through the list of the modern day class, and then I'll fill you in on some of the responses that we've received. But acclaimed chef, entrepreneur, known for his creative culinary vision, Stephen Beatty. Of course, Canton Fire Department Chief, who's dedicated to public safety, Akbar Bennett. Civil rights advocate, Kimberly Crenshaw. CEO of ABCD, it's a driving economic and social, who drives economic and social progress through nonprofit leadership, Mr. Will Dent. You mentioned Manny Halkias, award-winning educator, speech and debate coach. Eddie Levert, founding member of the OJs. Broadway makeup and wig artist, Leah Lucas. Of course, you mentioned accomplished NFL football coach with 6 Super Bowls, who was also a leader in his community, Josh McDaniels. Longtime educator and principal, Stephanie Patrick. Of course, the Canton, or the city of Canton mayor, William Scheer. We have a former recipient of the U.S. Army's Soldier of the Year. She's a highly decorated Army veteran, Robin Valdez, and then another founding member of the OJs and a pioneer in soul music and community inspiration, Walter Williams. That rounds out the class of individuals that are still with us today. They're part of our current class, and I could tell you that the response that we've gotten back from them, they're humbled by the opportunity to be recognized. They really feel honored to be a part of this class, especially the first class, and to be lumped into a group with so many outstanding individuals. It even makes it more special. So we've asked each of the individuals, maybe not when they were opening their packets with the information that they were going to be inducted, but once they settled down and read the information that we sent them and explained what the process was going to be, we asked them to send us a short video of their reactions. And I'll tell you, Sam, some of them brought tears to my eyes, knowing that this has meant so much to them. And the one that really, Manny Halkias sent one that really touched all of us. I wish I could share it with you today, but he was truly humbled and honored. Canton McKinley has meant the world to him, and for him to be included in this class is an opportunity of a lifetime. And those are the kind of responses that we look forward to hearing, and they're special when they come back, and they're thankful for what we're doing, and thankful that they have the opportunity to use this platform in the future to help our kids back here at Canton McKinley.
No doubt about it. RJ Van Almen is our guest, talking about the Canton McKinley Senior High School Hall of Distinction. Now, this is going to be this fall, right? What's the date and the times, location, and all those good things?
All right, so we're looking at the 25th of September. That's going to be the date. We're going to wrap up. We have our next meeting on July 10th. after July 10th, we plan to put out information about the where, when, and how much. We have been working nonstop, trying to cross all of our T's, dot all of our I's, and make sure that we bring in a venue and a caterer and an awards company that's going to really make this an outstanding evening for our inductees. So July 10th, July 10th, our next meeting. And what I would suggest is that people stay tuned to the high school website, Canton City Schools website. We also have Facebook pages for the school system. We also have a Canton McKinley Hall of Distinguished Alumni page where all this information is going to be available. And it should be here in a couple weeks.
Very good. Well, I know it's going to be a first-class event. I've been lucky to work with you at banquets and other events over the years and decades, and I know it's going to be a great night again, September the 25th, and more information coming. Make sure you check out Canton McKinley Senior High School Hall of Distinction, the different pages, the different platforms on social media, and all that information will be there. So, obviously, this will be something that will grow in stature. It will grow in popularity. You will add names. They will add different stories. They will add different things. And what's your long-term vision, RJ, for something like this?
What we want to do is, we want to continue to recognize individuals, for their community contribution, their professional accomplishments, the education they've provided, political leaders. We want to recognize those with their athletic endeavors and their humanitarian contributions. And our list is so long right now, and I do want to mention here, when I've got time, who our heritage class is. I want to recognize them, but as long as we have those people that fit that criteria, we're going to continue to honor them. And like I said, just this year we had a list of about 90 people. We started with 90. It wasn't easy to get down to that 25 because we felt everybody on the list was deserving. And once we open this up after the first year to the public, where they're able to make nominations, there's certainly people that, we may not have had on our list from day one. There may be people that have, moved away and, they're off our radar a little bit, but we expect an avalanche of bios coming in from people. Matter of fact, since we've put this list out, we've gotten dozens of inquiries, people suggesting that we take a look at others that would be perfect for a Hall of Distinction like this. But like I said, if you don't mind, I'd like to go over real quick the heritage class.
We got about 2.5, 2:45. Go for it.
All right. We got Emmy Award winning writer, James Allardyce. We have a Canton educator with 46 years of service, Marion Crenshaw. Another Canton educator, Walter Crenshaw. Renowned band leader, composer, actor, 4-time Academy Award nominee, Frank Duvall. Former Canton Bulldog owner, Ralph Hay. Football All-American, decorated military hero, local businessman, Dick Kempthorne. We have the inventor of the game of life, pioneer in toy design, Reuben Klamer. Longtime youth advocate and leader in Canton's public programs, Paul Martin. Founder of EWTN, the world's largest religious network, Mother Angelica.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
How about that? Pro Football Hall of Famer, a pioneer in the civil rights movement, Marion Motley. John Scully, former U.S. ambassador, prominent journalist. A former gold medalist in wrestling, Harry Steele. respected judge and trailblazer in Ohio's legal system, Ira Turpin, internationally acclaimed opera singer and educator Blanche Thiebaum, and rounding out that heritage class, University of Illinois All-American and NBA standout Nick Weatherspoon. So, those are the individuals between our heritage class and our current class that are going to go in here in 2025. And we feel that we could go on for many years recognizing the outstanding people. And over the 100 years Camp McKinley's been here, we have a lot of people to recognize, and this is just the beginning.
Outstanding. RJ, I got about a minute. I did want to ask you real quick.
Sure.
I don't know if I assume there's a little progress that's being made, but the National High School Football Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
You're working on like a brick and mortar town. There used to be the old Ranker building on Marquette. I know there's been scaffolding out there, and there's been stuff. What's the progress update on that before we go?
Well, we're in the process of raising money. We're in a $5 million fundraising campaign, and we're actually on 2nd Street. We're behind, the old East Ohio Gas Building, behind the Eric Snow YMCA. Antonio and Dave Jingo and I were just down there the other day, taking a look at what we can do with the space that we have. Making space for everything from displays to office space to having space for videos, a theater, and an office space, and a radio and a television studio. So that process has just begun. Just in the last few months, we secured that location. We just had our 3rd induction ceremony, and Coach Tom McDaniel said, after our 3rd year, boy, if we didn't make an impact and we didn't gain support after the show that we put on after the 3rd year, nothing can. So we feel real good about what we've done the last 3 years. And we're looking forward to bringing National High School Football Hall of Fame brick and mortar museum to fruition. And, we look to be here for a long time.
Sounds good, my man.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish we had more time. We got to get to the bottom of the hour, news and weather. But best of luck with the McKinley Senior Hall of Distinction. We will remind folks to go check it out on all the social media platforms. Again, save the date, September the 25th, and more information is coming. And always a pleasure, my guy, to catch up with you. And have a great week. Great the 4th of July. Enjoy the family, and we'll talk soon.
You do the same. Take care, Sam.
There he goes. R.J. Van Almen, our guest here on the Sam Bourquin Show. 1310 WDPN. Of course, we're streaming live all over the world at AM1310, WDPN.com. All right, news and weather coming up next. Stay with us.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. Sean Diddy Combs was convicted of prostitution-related offenses, but acquitted today of sex trafficking and racketeering charges that could have put one of hip-hop's most celebrated figures behind bars for life. The mixed result could still send the 55-year-old music mogul to prison for as long as a decade and is likely to end his career as a hit-making executive, fashion entrepreneur, brand ambassador, and reality TV star. A prosecutor says the charges Combs was convicted of carry a maximum of 10 years behind bars, but one sentencing expert predicts only months in prison. To keep the president's July 4th deadline, House Speaker Mike Johnson intends to put the Senate-passed tax policy bill on the floor today. It's a gamble for him, as ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy reports from Washington.
GOP deficit hawks in the House consider the Senate's bill too bloated, even though senators added provisions aimed at further curbing the growth of Medicaid. The Congressional Budget Office now says what the Senate passed yesterday would add $3.4 trillion to deficits over a decade. Texas Republican Keith Self says the Senate version is not an acceptable bill. At the moment, Speaker Mike Johnson is teeing up a vote that appears likely to fail.
Ukraine is moving ahead with plans for joint weapons production with allies, while the U.S. halts some arms shipments it had promised to help Kyiv fight off Russia's invasion. Ukraine today warned of potential consequences of the U.S. decision. President Vladimir Zelensky says Ukraine will seek joint weapons production with European and other countries. Ukrainian officials say draft legislation to support the effort will be voted on later this month. The U.S. has cited concerns over its own stockpiles for the halt in shipments. The decision has increased pressure on European nations to support Ukraine militarily. Microsoft is firing thousands of workers, its second mass layoff in months. Here's ABC's Sherry Preston.
Layoff notices going out first thing Wednesday morning. Microsoft not saying how many people are losing their jobs, but admitting it makes up about 4% of its workforce. The cuts will affect several teams around the world, including those in sales and employees in the Xbox video game division. This is the third round of layoffs at Microsoft this year, including its biggest round of cuts, 6,000 people, that happened in May.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court has struck down the state's 176-year-old abortion ban. The court's liberal majority ruled 4-3 today that the ban is no longer valid because newer abortion restrictions superseded it. State lawmakers adopted the total ban in 1849. It was in effect until 1973, when the U.S. Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision legalizing abortion nullified it and was never repealed. Conservatives argued that the U.S. Supreme Court's 2022 decision overturning Roe reactivated the prohibition. It's 83 degrees and Alliance at 432. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's the Alliance Area Weather Forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Your forecast for today calling for sunny skies and a high near 84 degrees. Mostly clear tonight, a low 64. Thursday, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise sunny with a high of 84. For Friday, Independence Day, sunshine, a high of 85. Saturday, mostly sunny, a high near 88. That's your WDPN weather.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. Thanks to R.J. Van Almen for joining us in the last segment, talking about the Camp McKinley Senior High Hall of Distinction. More information will be coming, so be on the lookout on all of your social media platforms about that. That's going to be a great event. What a class. What an inaugural class to start that. So congratulations to all involved there, and that should be a pretty cool night. 330-821-1310 is our number. You can always text the WDPN text line at 330-924-7088. Don't forget, on this day in sports history, coming up at around 5:25 today, we've got the Sam Bourquin Show poll question of the day. The Diddy verdict is in. It was in a couple of hours ago. You've been hearing about it at the top of the hour news with Jeff Mears on WDPN. What's your thoughts on the verdict? What was your initial reaction? A, happy. B, surprised. C, not surprised. Or D, disgusted. And it seems to be a pretty good mix of not surprise and disgust by the looks on the poll results so far today. And we put this poll up about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Kim says, absolutely disgusted. Stephanie says, disgusted. Becky says, money talks. Jason, Jane, Donald, all disgusted. Neil says, hey, money always wins. Steve says, not surprised. He destroyed a number of different people. Absolutely incredible. Susan Slater says, C and D. Not surprised and disgusted. Kim says, no one believes what's not fully taped anymore. Some folks just know how to get away with it. Look at Deshaun Watson. Unbelievable. Money absolutely talks. So people are a little fired up today about the Diddy verdict that was brought down in Manhattan court a couple of hours ago, and I'm sure more information will continue to pour in, and we'll have that for you here at the top of the bottom news on 1310 WDPN. RJ, it's just throwing text messages this way. So this stuff that's going on with the NBA and Malik Beasley, and you just finished up the NBA Finals. You had a pretty good postseason. I mean, there were some non-competitive games, but I would say from the start to the finish of Game 7, I thought the NBA playoffs were above average this year. I thought they were pretty good. The viewing numbers were pretty decent. The Nielsen number for the finals was not great, but they recovered nicely with almost a 19 and a 20 share for Game 7 between two small market teams. So I think that's progress. I think it's pretty good. And the fact that you had a team from Indiana and a team from little old Oklahoma City in the NBA Finals on the big stage, under the bright lights, going for the Larry O'Brien Trophy, I thought that was pretty cool. And hopefully we see more of that. Hopefully I think we are getting away from Boston, LA. I think we're getting away from LA, New York. Okay? We're starting to, it's, I don't want to say it's become like the NFL because of parity, but you get my drift here. It's no longer, the big super teams and the ultra big cities. Okay? I think things are starting to switch. So what I'm setting up here, I thought the NBA had a pretty good season. Not how we wanted it to end as Cavs fans, but I thought as a whole, I thought the NBA had a pretty healthy season. Regular season, look, all you want to do is make it through, right? And you want to get to the postseason, you want your stars to shine. We had some rather significant injuries that kind of derailed some of that momentum, but I thought it was a pretty good postseason. So if you're Adam Silver, you're like, okay, things are looking good. Social media is looking good. We're engaging people now. Then you had your draft, which was kind of a dud, but whatever. Then you had free agency, which was okay. It wasn't the free agencies that we are accustomed to with multiple big mega stars moving in different directions and big trades. And we had a couple. Nothing crazy. But again, it was entertainment. The NBA was out in the eye. Then the Malik Beasley situation rears its ugly head. A federal investigation rears its ugly head. And folks, I'm here to tell you, with the NBA, Major League Baseball, the National Football League, the NHL, nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to be associated with a federal investigation into gambling allegations. Because right away, what we all grew up with, the love of the game, the pureness of the sport, the personalities that we grew up liking, loving, idolizing, watching, enjoying the entertainment they put out on the field and the court and the floor, that all comes into question now when you hear stories like this. And it's come into question before for other reasons, but all kind of related to the sports betting world, the sports gambling world, the fixing, the rigging, the staging. That was fait accompli. Don't worry about it. And people start to wonder. They start to raise an eyebrow. They give you the old stink eye and say, what the hell's going on here? Is this real? Or is this WWE? Or WWF if you're older like me? People want to know what they're watching. They want to know what they're putting their money down for, what they're wagering on. They want to know if it's real. They expect authenticity. They don't want to hear bribery, fixing, point shaving, federal investigating. They don't want to hear that. And nor should they. It's happened before. It'll happen again. It's happened at the NBA level. It's happened at the NCAA level. It's happened in Major League Baseball. This isn't new, but it seems that the crimes or the alleged crimes have become a lot more serious. And in this day and age, with the legalization of sports gambling, sports betting, I don't know how many states it's legal in now. I'm pretty sure it's at least half, and it might be more than that. People don't want to hear this. They don't want to see some of the stuff that they've seen and heard some of the things that they've heard. I'm going to read you a little bit of the story here about Malik Beasley. Give you a little background here. So, amid a federal investigation into gambling allegations, this was made earlier in the week, it has now been revealed that Malik Beasley, the NBA free agent with nearly $60 million in contract earnings across his 9-year career, apparently is facing some bad stuff. Let's just say financial woes that include multiple debts and lawsuits against him. This was reported Tuesday that Beasley is being sued by his former marketing agency. He failed to repay a full advance of $650,000. Okay? There's that. Beasley apparently has borrowed a lot of money over the years. Now, I just told you what he's made in the NBA so far, about $60 million. Court records show that he paid back about $1.3 million in loans in early 2023. Some other financial issues include being sued twice for failing to pay more than a combined $20,000 in rent at the Stott Building in Detroit, Michigan. Let's go back to January. Celebrity barber, many serving NBA players. This guy is the barber of the pros. He won a judgment against Beasley for over $27,000. Also in January, a dentist in Minnesota won a default judgment against Beasley for $35,000. The dentist started garnishing Beasley's paychecks from the Pistons the following month. Now, here's the bad thing for Beasley. He was likely to sign a contract with the Pistons for 3 years, $42 million. Like, it was about to go down. And then the word of the investigation came up. Let me go back to 2020. Beasley played for the Timberwolves, pled guilty to a felony charge of threats of violence. He was sentenced to 120 days in jail, which he served after the 2021 season. He was also suspended 12 games by the NBA in 21 as a result of the guilty plea. Now, he's bounced around a little bit. Denver, Minnesota, Detroit. Again, he's about to sign that big contract extension. His attorney, Steve Haney, says that this is an investigation and not a charge. Malik is afforded the same right of presumption of innocence as anyone else under the U.S. Constitution. As of now, he has not been charged with anything. There's a lot of stuff going on here. He's having some serious financial issues, like big debt. Big debt. Rumors continue to swirl around. The Detroit News has pounced. They've uncovered some stuff about the barber, about the dentist, people and banks that he owes lots of money to. Well, okay, let's look at here now. If he's got some kind of a gambling thing going on and he's in the hole with some people, what's one way out of it? Point shaving? Betting for, betting against? Trying to coerce teammates into doing things that will help him on the other end and try to get himself out of the hole. Try to get himself out of debt. Detroit News also reporting Beasley even pledged his current and future NBA contracts to a lending company, South River Capital LLC. They won a $6 million judgment against Beasley. That was filed in 22 when Beasley was with the Timberwolves. You cannot have this kind of stuff going on. And if you're Adam Silver and you're Mark Tatum, Mr. Smiles, you are in a panic mode right now because I fear that there's going to be a lot more coming out. And if your audience, I don't care how old the audience is, if they're just watching your stuff on TikTok, if they're paying for tickets at a game, they're buying merch, the gambling public who, does it legally, if people start thinking that your product is tainted, it's not real, it's not credible, you have a major problem. You want to see commissioners of the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball and NHL and MLB, you want to see them squirm? Bring up the word gambling. Bring up fixing. Watch what they do. Now, some of you believe that some of these folks are actually in on it. Hey, never say never. There's been some fishy things that have gone on over the decades in sports. I don't have to remind anybody that. There's been some things that have gone on that make you kind of say, wonder why or how that happened. But when word got out about Tim Donaghy, word got out about the late, great Pete Rose. Remember the old Black Sox scandal with Shoeless Joe? Then there was point shaving in Boston College. There was point shaving at Arizona State. There were lots of other things that happened at other lesser-known schools, but it didn't make it right, and it didn't make you feel any safer. There's a lot of the Malik Beasleys in the world. The guys that are pretty good. There may be a rotational guy or maybe somebody else down the bench who sometimes get involved in these kind of things. They got to pay money back. They're in a hole gambling themselves. And I know this isn't the only person. Are you kidding me? Out of all the athletes and all the professional sports, this is the only one who's in trouble like this? We just haven't heard about the other ones yet. But with the legalization of sports gambling, you better get the message across to your customers, your viewers, the people that pay to watch, the people that pay to bet. The people that buy your merchandise and buy your tickets, pay for your subscriptions, your streaming, you better somehow convey to them that, ladies and gentlemen, what you're watching is real, and there's no funny business going on, so help us God. Look what happened to the horse racing industry years ago. That took a serious hit. Still hasn't fully recovered. I mean, it's back a little bit. I mean, to take a comical approach to it. Remember the movie Easy Money with Rodney Dangerfield and Joe Pesci? Remember one of the early scenes there where Rodney's got a hot tip on a horse? So they closed the bar down or whatever business they were running. They kicked everybody out. We said, we got to get to the track. I got a hot tip on this horse. So they get there just in the middle of time. They're knocking people over, pushing them over. We got to get to the window. We got to get to the window. They get the bedding on this horse. It's a surefire hit. They're going to be rich. They get their money in. They get outside to the track. They get up against the rail. Here comes their horse coming around the stretch. And the jockey starts yanking on the reins of the horse to slow him down so he doesn't win. And Joe Pesci hops the fence. He runs out. He starts beating up the jockey right on the track, going after him, cursing at him, punching him in the head. Horse racing took a beating years ago when it was just found out. Jockeys, everybody was in on it. Gambling on horse racing was down. People weren't going to the tracks. Now you got the betting apps. You got TVG. You got FanDuel. You got all this stuff going on now. But it took a while to bring those people back. You got to be careful here. And Malik Beasley, if more information comes out and he rolls on some people, some other teammates maybe, other people that were involved, I don't know, maybe some other officials that might be involved. I certainly wouldn't think so after what happened with Tim Donaghy years ago. But you never know. People get into trouble. They got to find a way out. And sometimes the only way to get out is to do something that's not on the up and up. So we'll keep track of this situation with Malik Beasley. But I got a feeling there's going to be a lot more to come out there. All right, we'll take a break here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Your thoughts, 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. We'll take a break. We got about 6 minutes till the top of the hour on 1310 WDPN.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. You've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Over the last few years, things have gotten weird.
And for our kids, these things can be overwhelmingly stressful.
Scientific research
and real-life experience
tell us that the number one antidote to stress is authentic, trusted relationships.
So that's why I am committed to building and maintaining a trusted space.
This is a trusted space.
Access free films and resources to build trusted spaces in your schools and communities at atrustedspace.org.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
We're going to let this one go for a little bit. $1310 WDPN, it's the Sam Bourquin Show. Always love that song. Couple of minutes till we get you to the top of the hour. The latest on the Diddy verdict coming up with the national news. And, of course, Jeff Mears with your local news as well. Also a check on the weather, and the weather looks really good. Really good the rest of the week. So you can get out there and enjoy your 4th of July picnics, your barbecues, your swimming, your fireworks, your golf. You name it. This is going to be a great weekend here in Northeast Ohio.
I can't remember the last time I felt safe leaving my windows down out there. I'm still kind of nervous about it, but
I got mine down. I got them. I got all 4 windows. And don't anybody think about coming over here and breaking in. I got all my windows down in the car because it was just so nice. They're all down, and it's just get a nice little breeze out there. And it's going to get a little warmer. Don't get me wrong. It's going to heat up, but I think you're going to love the weather here the next several days. Mickey on the text line. Why are you wearing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers hat today, Sam? Mickey, because it matches my shirt. And I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. And I love their stadium. Is that good? It's all true. I like to coordinate. I'll wear stuff of teams that I hate. But if it matches a shirt or shoes or something, I'll wear it. So I got my Buccaneers hat on today and a golf shirt that kind of matches. Although I did make one mistake. The stripes go sideways. And when you're portly like me, you want to make sure those stripes are going vertical, not horizontal. Or wear a solid color. But yeah, that's why I got the Buccaneers hat on today. And Mickey, I appreciate you noticing and taking the time to write in. All right, news and weather coming up. We've got one more big hour to go. The latest on the Diddy verdict is coming up. We got On This Day in Sports History. We got you on the phones. We'll preview the Guards and the Cubs at Wrigley Field. And whatever else is on your mind on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon here in the Carnation City of Alliance, Ohio, and all over the world at AM 1310, WDPN.com. Stay with us.
An important part of the Alliance community since 1953. You're listening to AM 1310, WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Defendant Brian Kohberger changed his plea to guilty today in the stabbing murders of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. Victims' families were split on whether they support that plea deal, which spares Kohberger the death penalty. Instead, he'll be sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences and waives all rights to appeal. After the hearing, Leander James, a victims' rights attorney, read a statement on behalf of Maddie Mogan's family in support of the deal.
While we know there are some who do not support it, we ask that they respect our belief that this is the best outcome possible for the victims, their families, and the state of Idaho.
In New York City, a bail hearing set in the next hour for Sean Diddy Combs. His attorneys pushing for him to be freed after a jury acquitted the music mogul on the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Jurors found Combs guilty of prostitution-related charges. He still faces 20 years in prison. And the House is scrambling to pass the Senate amended mega bill, but it faces hurdles in the coming days. This is ABC News.
This weekend is what summer's all about, and Macy's July 4th sale is going on now with deals on everything you need to celebrate. Hosting? Turn your backyard into a party destination with 40 to 50% off outdoor entertaining. Beachbound? Turn heads in this season's hottest swimsuits, sundresses, and more. Get away with the kids? Superpower their summer with 25 to 60% off toys from Nerf. Plus, don't miss Macy's 4th of July fireworks live on NBC and Peacock. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. This news a service of Bonfort Glass. An Alliance man accused of assaulting another man with a baseball bat is behind bars. 39-year-old Douglas Pryor was arrested today and booked at the Stark County Jail. He's charged with felonious assault, aggravated robbery, and aggravated menacing. Pryor allegedly struck the 39-year-old Alliance man on the left side of his head June 10th. Court records state he threatened to kill the victim and then stole a backpack containing items including tools, vape pens, flashlights, food, and money. The man was treated at a local hospital for a 3-inch gash behind his left ear. The alleged incident occurred at Pryor's home in the 1900 block of Parkway Boulevard. The Stark County grand jury has indicted a man accused in a fatal shooting in Canton. 18-year-old Malachi Fortner of Canton is charged with murder in the May 8th slaying of 21-year-old Stefan Dunn of Canton. He's also charged with felonious assault, having weapons under disability, and carrying a concealed weapon. Police found Dunn shot along Clarendon Avenue Southwest. He died a short time later at Almen Hospital. Fortner was arrested the following day. He's being held in the county jail on $200,000 bond. Fortner is scheduled for arraignment tomorrow in common pleas court. Perry Township Police say a vehicle belonging to a missing man has been found. 48-year-old Chad Poland was last seen walking away from his home in the Perry Hills Colony Apartments around 6:30 a.m. June 19th. He is a disabled veteran and requires medication. Poland's blue 2016 Honda Accord was discovered Friday by Wood County, West Virginia Sheriff's deputies at the Mount Wood Park volleyball area. A caller reported the vehicle had been parked in the lot for several days. The site is about 30 minutes south of Marietta. Authorities say a search of the area found no signs of Poland's location. Anyone with information should call Perry Township Police at 330-478-5121. The Lake Local Board of Education has approved a new contract for the district's treasurer. Nicole Nichols was granted a 5-year agreement during Monday's meeting. It's effective August 1st, 2026. Terms of the deal have not been finalized. Nichols has overseen the district's finances since August 2013. An additional mental evaluation has been ordered for a man accused of assaulting a Leetonia police officer. 47-year-old Randy May of Leetonia had been charged with felonious assault for an October attack on Officer John Hancock. Investigators say Hancock suffered a broken ankle and a head injury when he was hit with a metal bar during a traffic stop. May was declared incompetent to stand trial last fall and was ordered to Heartland Behavioral Health in Massillon. He was restored to competency and was in court last month to face a new count of aggravated robbery. May is accused of attempting to take Hancock's service weapon. The new evaluation will determine May's state at the time of the incident. Court dates have been pushed back for a former Liverpool Township police chief charged with domestic violence. The July 10th status conference and July 16th trial for 52-year-old Jason Jackson of Liverpool Township were postponed. A change in the schedule for Columbiana County Municipal Court was cited. The status conference is now set for August 5th and the trial for August 13th. Liverpool Township police were called to Jackson's home December 4th. A woman accused Jackson of choking her and giving her a bloody nose. He reportedly told officers they had been drinking and nothing happened. Jackson is free on $20,000 bond. The Mahoning County Sheriff's Office is investigating an apparent road rage shooting that occurred Tuesday night. The incident began around 11 p.m. near West Boulevard and Route 224 in Boardman Township. The people involved continued to a fast food restaurant on 224 in Canfield Township. As the alleged victim was trying to leave, the suspect reportedly pulled a gun and began firing. No one was injured. A Boardman police officer saw the suspect vehicle and attempted a traffic stop. The car sped away and a chase ensued before being called off a few minutes later. Investigators say they have a person of interest. A Youngstown woman is accused of defrauding Medicaid. 37-year-old Janae Veal is charged with Medicaid fraud and theft. She is among 13 providers who allegedly defrauded the government health care program. The Ohio Attorney General's office says the 12 health aides and one behavioral health specialist billed Medicaid for a total of roughly $189,000 in services they did not provide. The charges followed an investigation by the AG's office. Veal is accused of billing for services after removing herself from a recipient's plan of care. She also allegedly billed for days in which a relative of the recipient provided the services. Veal's case is being heard in Franklin County Court. Youngstown police say a car crashed into a building on the city's east side early Monday. Officers were called to a Plaza View court address where they found the vehicle had struck the side of a building and left a trail of debris. A woman said she was in a parking lot arguing with her boyfriend and her brother joined in. The boyfriend reportedly pulled a gun and the woman jumped into the car and began to drive away. Police say he tried to grab the steering wheel and the vehicle went off the road and hit a fence and the building. The man and woman fled on foot. The incident was captured by a security camera. The boyfriend said he ran because the woman's brother had threatened him. The city of Youngstown's law department says John White cannot run as an independent candidate for mayor in November. Mayoral candidates must be a city resident and registered to vote there for 5 years. The law department concluded White did not meet those requirements. The city says he won't be eligible to run until at least 2026. White was deemed ineligible to run for mayor for the same reasons in 2021. The Mahoning County Board of Elections will meet Tuesday to certify independent candidates. Bond is set at $2 million for a Canfield man accused of child rape. 45-year-old Ryan Axelson was arraigned Tuesday in Niles Municipal Court on a rape charge. Police were called Monday to Akron Children's Hospital in Boardman for reports of a child who was the victim of a sexual assault. The alleged incident occurred in Niles. Axelson returned to court today for a preliminary hearing. A hiker died after being struck by a tree Tuesday in Hocking Hills. The incident occurred in the Lower Rim Trail at Conkle's Hollow State Nature Preserve. The investigator with Hocking County Coroner's Office says an uprooted tree fell and struck the victim. The identity of the person has not been released. No other details were made available. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources is investigating. The death comes after heavy flooding was reported in the county. Hocking Hills State Park closed several of its trails due to flash flooding. They were later reopened. Ohioans are allowed to light fireworks only on specially designated holidays. Fireworks are allowed July 3rd through the 5th from 4 to 11 each night. State law says fireworks can be set off on personal property, but local municipalities can have their own fireworks ordinances. Only those 18 or older are allowed to handle fireworks in Ohio. The state fire marshal reported over 130 fireworks-related incidents last year, with 30 of those resulting in structure fires that cost over $760,000 in damages. Fire officials remind revelers to keep a fire extinguisher nearby and handle all fireworks and equipment with extreme caution. They say fireworks should not be used by someone impaired by drugs or alcohol. Summer vacation is the latest target for malicious actors online. ABC's Mike Dubusky reports.
Well, unfortunately, we all look for a bargain, don't we? And scammers know that.
ESET Chief Cyber Threat Officer Tony Anscombe says if you're booking a vacation this summer, it's important to keep an eye out for fraudulent listings.
They will put out ads over social media networks or search results offering free vacations or discounted tickets and full vacations. They'll offer very cheap flights and hotels.
He says an extra layer of security would be to avoid paying for your vacation with a debit card. Instead,
if you use a credit card or you use another payment method like Google Pay or Apple Pay, then what that does is protect your purchase as well, and it separates it from your day-to-day expenses.
The FTC reports more than $100 million were lost to travel fraud last year. With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Taking a look at Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed today at 44,477, down 18 points. The Nasdaq Composite ended the day 190 points higher at 20,393, and the S&P 500 closed at 6,226, up 29 points. It's 84 degrees in Alliance at 5:09. This is the local edition of WDPN News, a service of Bonfort Glass. I'm Jeff Mears.
When man's best friend chases the family cat through the window screen, you need a rapid repair from Bonfort Glass. In warmer weather, accidents can happen. When a hole in your window or door screen is keeping you from enjoying the fresh air, take that torn screen to Bonfort's for a speedy, expert repair. You think of Bonfort's for glass repair, but don't forget, they can take care of just about any problem you may have with a window or door, including screens. If your screens are old, worn, corroded, or torn, bring them into Bonfort Glass in Alliance. Replace those shabby old screens with new aluminum or fiberglass ones that will wear better and last longer. Bonford's experts give you the quality you can depend on and service that's unsurpassed. So even if your best pal chased the cat through the window screen, just take it to Bonford's for a rapid repair. For all your glass and window needs, rely on Bonford Glass, 30 South Union Avenue in Alliance.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Forecast for this afternoon calling for sunny skies and a high near 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, a low around 64. Thursday, a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, otherwise sunny with a high near 84. Friday, Independence Day, sunshine, a high of 85. More sun Saturday, a high of 88. That's your WDPN weather.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Drive base hit out into left center field. Carson Kelly staying high. That'll bang up against the bullpen. Swanson in. Here comes Bush. Throw to the plate. Too high. Bush is in to score. And Kelly into third. It's 3-0 Cubs on top. Wang and a high fly ball out towards left center field. Vaughn going back. Thomas at the wall. And that one is gone. Oh, a towering fly ball out towards left center field. It just got into the bleachers. And for Seiya Suzuki, it is number 23. High drive. Towering into the Tuesday twilight. Shohei Ohtani, welcome home.
1-1 strike. And that's into the outfield, and that's dropping. It's caught. Sacrifice fly, 1-0 Pirates. Henry Davis brings home Key Brian Hayes.
The Pirates would actually go on to win that game last night. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Hope you're having an absolutely incredible day. Welcome in. AM 1310 WDPN. Hello to you watching and listening. A little tip of the cap to you at the Q92 radio page on YouTube. And don't forget, you can watch and listen anytime on the 1310 WDPN Facebook page, the WDPN Twitter or X page. And you can also listen to us as well right here. Good old terrestrial radio. Still works, kids, and it's free. AM 1310 WDPN. Sam Bourquin here, Ryan Rainsberg on the other side of the glass, and we are having a day. The Diddy verdict is in. You heard that on the top of the hour news with Jeff Mears. That is our Sam Bourquin Show poll question of the day. The verdict is in. Not guilty on 3 serious charges, guilty on 2 of the lesser charges. Basically, he's going to walk. I'd be shocked if he does any time at all. Other than the time already served, I would be shocked. What was your initial reaction on the verdict today? What'd you think? How did it hit you? A, were you happy about it? Some were. Don't know how, but some were. B, surprised. C, not surprised. D, disgusted. Let us know your thoughts on all of our social media platforms, 1310 WDPN, on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, on YouTube. And again, you can text us too at 330-924-7088. Guardians. Ugh. Speaking of disgusting, the Guardians are in action against the Cubs tonight. It's another nationally televised game. This one's on ESPN. TBS had it last night. 5-2 Cubs win. Tonight, it's a little bit after 8 o'clock at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Same deal tomorrow. Then it's off to Detroit to take on the Tigers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Excuse me. Guardians are 40-43. They're 3-7 in their last 10. This is how bad it's gotten for the Guardians. They are plus 10,000 at the betting window to win the World Series. They're plus 10,000. That's how much of a free fall the Guardians are in right now. Tanner Bybee on the bump tonight against Chicago. Again, first pitch a little bit after 8 o'clock. Cleveland is a full 12 games back of Detroit. And I pulled up the wild card standings today, and I took a little look, and I said, you know what, we're just gonna rip this paper up and throw it away. And that's what I did. I'm not even confident that this team can make a run at a wild card. That's how bad they're playing. Stephen Vogt's having a rough time managing. Guys aren't fielding the ball. They're getting picked off bases, mental errors, physical errors. The batting average is awful. It's they're in a tough way right now. As we've been saying all week, earlier today, some tough decisions are going to have to be made. And whether that's dealing a Quan, whether that's dealing a Emmanuel Clase, some decisions are going to have to be made. At some point, you're probably going to want to bring up some guys from the minor leagues. C.J. Kafis, you're going to want to bring up Chase DeLauder. You're going to wing up, I don't know, Juan Brito. Maybe take a look at some other guys, see what they can do. But this year's going nowhere. You are spinning your wheels in mediocrity right now. And right now, you're not even mediocre. You're not even 500. You're 40 and 43. And you are on a fast train. If you're not careful, by the end of the week, you could be in second to last place. Luckily for the Guardians, the Twins have really stunk up the joint. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and Kansas City has completely fallen off the wagon. They are 2-8 in their last 10. But Detroit is a game behind Minnesota. Minnesota is a game behind Cleveland. Kansas City is a game and a half behind Cleveland. So by the end of the week, the Guardians could be nestled up nice and close to the White Sox in the basement of the American League Central Division. But they'll give it the old college try tonight. 8:05 first pitch at Wrigley. Guardians and the Cubs on the north side. And that place will be jumping and rocking again tonight. I mentioned at the beginning of the show at 3 o'clock today. Just listening to some of the game on radio, driving around last night. The electricity, the energy, just the incredible vibe from Wrigley Field last night in a game against Cleveland in the first day of July on a Tuesday night. It was incredible. Like the roar of the crowd when the Cubs would just get a base hit or draw a walk. You would have thought it was the biggest moment of the game. The fans are into it. And I know a lot of them are hammered. I get it. I know. That's just what they do. But you can't knock the enthusiasm and the vibe and the, oh yeah, of Wrigley Field. Imagine what it's like there when the Dodgers and Brewers and Cardinals come in. They're even the pathetic White Sox, right? They're 30 games under 500. But when the White Sox come in, man, that place will be going nuts. That's their big rival. Right down the street, north side and the south side. Got to get to Wrigley Field someday. Hopefully someday. That's a tough ticket to get. And when the Cubs are really playing ball, it's almost an impossible ticket to get. But we'll keep trying. So we'll see if the Guards can get it going tonight. But I don't see it, and I would say even after, let's see, July 4th is Friday, Saturday. I would say maybe by July 7th, some hard conversations are going to be had. We could get together here Monday, and the Guardians could be 16, 17 games out of first. Easily. You're 12 out now. You got 2 more with Chicago, and then you're going to play Detroit. So every loss there, it's a dagger. So next Monday, we could be having some interesting conversations here on 1310 WDPN. I do want to pass this along to you from our good buddy, Dr. Peter Michaelis from St. Harlambus Church. Folks, it is not that far away. The 2025 high school football coaches preview. Put this down in your calendar or into your phone or a sticky note up on the fridge. Old school still works. Wednesday, August the 6th. Okay? Wednesday, August the 6th. At the Crassus Vet Center, St. Harlambus Church. You know where it is, 25th and Harvard Northwest. All right, social hour begins at 5:30. Buffet at 6:30, and the coaches start to talk at 7:30. Now, listen up. Prepaid reservations requested by or before Friday, August the 1st. So make sure that you get those in. They will be reserving tables of groups of 8 with the earliest responses receiving preferential seating locations. So make sure you get your tickets for the 2025 high school football coaches preview Wednesday, August the 6th at St. Harlambus Church, the Crassus Event Center. Social hour begins at 5:30, dinner at 6:30, the coaches panel at 7:30. I'll give you a couple of numbers to call here. Give Steve a call, 330-209-3138. You can call John at 330-499-0550. Or you can call the church office over there at St. H, 330-454-7278. That's always a good time. We'll be there. We'll be there. Q92 Sports will be in the house. Myself, Christian, Keller. I'm sure we'll have some others there. We're looking forward to that. So if you make that, certainly come see us. We'll be there. But if not, you can listen to that that entire night. That's going to be pretty cool. We'll be talking to all the coaches. Here's the coaches panel, by the way. Tim Goodman of Alliance, Matt Dennison of Canton South, Jeff Linda-Smith of Central Catholic will be there. John Spider-Miller of East Canton will be there. AJ Sawbaugh from Fairless. Other coaches on the panel, Glen Oaks, Scotty Garcia, Hoover's Brian Baum, Jay Rohr from Jackson, Danny DeGeorge of Lake, Chris Kappas at Louisville, Joe Cardinal from Marlington, Nate Moore of Maslin, Renzi Parnell, the new head coach at Camp McKinley, he'll be there. The new coach of Minerva, former Perry coach Zach Slates will be there. John DeMarco of Northwest, new Perry coach Spencer Lino, my guy Kevin Henderson from St. Thomas, Brian Gamble from Sandy Valley, and Brock Dial from Tuslaw. So that's coming up Wednesday, August the 6th. Make sure you get your tickets for that. And if you can't get there, Q92 Sports will have you covered. Just got a message from my guy Sal. He says, Sammy, I just wanted to send you a picture and let you know what you're missing. Guess where Sal's at today? He's at the world's largest outdoor pool and sports book in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he just showed me a picture from his cot as he's watching Wimbledon and betting on sports and enjoying the sun out in Sin City. Sal, you're killing me. I've never been there. Well, I'm going to go. Probably not this year. Maybe over the next couple of years.
Well, at least we don't have to be jealous of the weather today.
No.
We're not sitting here in the dreary rain.
No,
at least it's also
today.
beautiful here. So
yeah, Vegas, it's about 102. Nice dry heat. Sal's at the pool. He's looking at the big screen. He's got the betting numbers up there. He's got Wimbledon on one screen. Oh man, geez. That's just one of the greatest places on earth. And I hope to get there. I hope to get there sooner than later. Thanks for thinking about me, Sal. Thanks for sending that picture back. Certainly love it.
We have another text that came in while you were talking, if you want.
Go for it.
It says, "Hey Sam, I've been fortunate to attend opening day in several major league ballparks. By far the greatest experience was at Wrigley Field and hanging out in Wrigleyville prior to and after the game."
Forgot about Wrigleyville. I mean, I've been watching Cubs games since I was little. And remember when they used to be on the television station? It was WGN out of Chicago. And this was back when WGN used to carry both the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox games. Obviously, they had the crew doing the White Sox, and they had Harry Carey and whoever doing the Cubs games on WGN. So you would get to see, geez, you probably watch 70, 80 games a year of the Cubs, 70 or 80 games of the White Sox. Some days you'd get them both. Remember, the Cubbies didn't have lights for a long time at Wrigley. So they would come on at like 2:20 in the afternoon, and then the White Sox would play at like 7:30 at night Eastern time. So kind of grew up on that. Because with cable, you had the TBS, you got the Braves. WOR, you had the Mets. Every once in a while on Channel 7, you could get the Pirate games. Then you had the Tribe, Channel 43. And then you had the Cubs and White Sox on WGN. So I would watch them all the time growing up. And, there were some rough days when Wrigley Field, was a little empty, especially, March and April. You had some bitter, bitter weather during the early spring in Chicago. I mean, cold, snow, wind, rain, you name it. But the fans, for the most part, would always show. But when the weather gets nice and Wrigleyville is hopping and the drinks are flowing, the sun is shining, and the Cubs are winning, man, there is nothing like it. And that is definitely on my bucket list. So thank you, Texter, for sending that in. Man, I'm looking at a picture of Vegas at the sports bar outside with the pool, and I'm thinking about Wrigley Field. What the heck's going on here? I know what. It's time for On This Day in Sports History. And here we go. In 1941, Joltin' Joe DiMaggio got his 45th consecutive hit. 1994, man, this was bad. Remember this? Colombian soccer player Andres Escobar was shot to death. 10 days earlier, he had accidentally scored a goal against his own team in the 1994 World Cup competition. Made a mistake, put the ball in the back of his own net, and he was shot 10 days later. Unbelievable. On this day in 1995, Hideo Nomo, remember him? Became the first Japanese player to be selected for a Major League Baseball All-Star team. On this day in 1996, Alex Rodriguez became the third youngest player to be selected to the American League All-Star team. Dwight Gooden and Ken Griffey Jr. were the two younger than A-Rod. And on this day in 2002, a record 62 home runs were hit in 16 Major League Baseball games. Can you say juice? I thought you could. That'll wrap up today on this day in sports history here on the Sam Bourquin Show. AM 1310 WDPN. News and weather is coming up next. Stay with us, everybody.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. Sean Diddy Combs has been acquitted on the most serious charges against him today. The jury only found him guilty of prostitution-related crimes. Those convictions each carry a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. More from ABC's Aaron Katursky outside court.
He said these women were in it, and it required the jury to make distinctions between consent and coercion and love and control and free will. And in the end, they acquit on the most serious charges that carried a minimum sentence of 15 years, acquitting on sex trafficking in addition to the racketeering conspiracy.
Brian Koberger has pleaded guilty to murder in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. He entered the plea today in a deal with prosecutors that will allow him to avoid the death penalty. Koberger had been set to stand trial next month. He remained impassive as he confirmed to the judge that he stabbed the 4 victims. Koberger was a graduate student at nearby Washington State University when prosecutors say he sneaked into a rental home in Moscow, Idaho, and stabbed the 4 students. Killings terrified the campus and set off a nationwide search in 2022. No motive has emerged for the killings. In an effort to meet the GOP's own July 4th deadline for passage, House Speaker Mike Johnson intends to put the Senate-passed tax policy package known as the One Big Beautiful Bill on the House floor today. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy reports from Washington and says it's quite a gamble for the Speaker.
The conservative House Freedom Caucus complains that the Senate version of the bill would lead to even greater deficits than what the House passed in late May. The Congressional Budget Office now says the package, as amended, would add $3.4 trillion to deficits over a decade. Speaker Mike Johnson says he's having great conversations with concerned colleagues, but he's urging GOP holdouts to yield on their personal preferences.
We can't make everyone 100% happy. It's impossible.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed there will be no Hamas in post-war Gaza. He made the comments today. President Trump said Tuesday that Israel had agreed on terms for a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza and urged Hamas to accept the deal before conditions worsen. Trump has been increasing pressure on the Israeli government and Hamas to broker a ceasefire as well as hostage agreement and bring about an end to the war. Hamas said in a brief statement today that it had received a proposal from the mediators and is holding talks with them to bridge gaps to return to the negotiating table to try to reach a ceasefire agreement. It's 83 degrees in Alliance at 5:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Sunshine in the forecast for this afternoon. Today's high around 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 64. Thursday, a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine, a high of 84. For Independence Day Friday, sunshine, a high of 85. Mostly sunny skies Saturday, a high of 88. That's your WDPN weather.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Director of Public Relations. There's no obligation.
Started packing. We left before the sun came up that day.
Just about in the home stretch here, about another half hour to go here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Welcome back into AM 1310 WDPN, streaming live all over the world at AM 1310, WDPN.com. From the Bleacher Report, DeAndre Ayton is expected to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. This according to Chris Haynes. So the Lakers get their big man. So now the big three in L.A. is Luka, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton. Interesting. I'm still not convinced. LeBron, I don't know. Maybe he is. You convinced he's going to finish with the Lakers this year? Is this going to be it? Is this it? Is this going to be the retirement tour? He's going to make his tour to all the NBA arenas. He's going to get his going to get his rocking chair and his gold watch. And is this it? Is he going to ride off? Is he going to ride off into the sunset? Or is there more to come for the soon-to-be 41-year-old from Akron, Ohio? By the way, he was in Akron today playing golf. Yes, he was at the Portage Country Club. LeBron was out there swinging. That's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers play this year. DeAndre Ayton, LeBron James, and Luka. But that's it. Now you got Reeves. You still got Rui Hachimura. Okay, maybe they'll be okay. Maybe they'll be okay. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I still, remember I said yesterday, I still think there's going to be something wild going to go down in the NBA between now and the end of the week. I still think something crazy is going to happen. And we'll come back and we'll talk about it here on Monday, beginning at 3 on AM 1310 WDPN. Don't forget the live stream at am1310wdpn.com, and you can also watch and listen. Hello, everybody out there checking us out on the Q92 radio page on YouTube. Cavaliers made a small move today. They cut ties with Imani Bates. Remember the kid they got out of Eastern Michigan? There was always something. I can't put my finger on it, but there always seems something amiss with Imani Bates and the Cavaliers. He was kind of a problem when he was with Eastern Michigan. He was always. He just wanted to shoot the ball, didn't really want to play defense, didn't really take instruction well. He's now an unrestricted free agent. Cavaliers declined his option. I don't think Imani wanted to listen to directions. I just got that feeling about him. He just kind of wanted to go and do his own thing, and that's what he did. Now he's an unrestricted free agent. All right. So good luck to Imani Bates, and we'll see where that goes from here. I don't know what else that the Cavaliers will do. They let Ty Jerome go. Okay, he signed with Memphis, 3 years, $28 million. Imani Bates gone. They didn't redo his deal there. I think about guys like Max Strus. I mean, how much longer are we going to go with that? I think about Darius Garland. His big contract. He's got turf toe. You don't know when he's going to come back and be full go. And even at full go, think about this. Darius Garland at the top of his game, at his absolute ceiling, is that the kind of guy that's going to help take you where you want to go? Even with the surrounding cast, with a Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Most likely a guy like Max Strus. Now, they signed Larry Nance Jr. to a 1-year vet minimum contract yesterday. So it's good to have Larry back in the fold again. Probably won't get a ton of playing time, but kind of a roster fill-out kind of guy. But then I look at the East. My gosh. Tyrese Halliburton, not going to play next year. Jason Tatum, Boston, probably not going to play next year. Dame Lillard, probably not going to play next year. Well, he's definitely not going to play next year. That opens the door. Okay, I'm going to take Boston, I'm going to take Milwaukee, and I'm going to take Indiana, and I'm going to say you guys just went down about 3 or 4 pegs, okay? And then I look to the New York Knicks, who, by the way, if you missed it, they hired Mike Brown as their new head coach today. I don't know what that's all about, but that's what happened. Okay. You got Jalen Brunson. You got Karl Anthony Towns. You got a couple other pieces players. You got Hart. But you don't really have enough to get over the hump, I don't think. And quite frankly, I don't know what Mike Brown is going to bring to the table that Tom Thibodeau didn't bring to the table. Then I look at Philly in the Joel Embiid, the experiment, the trust the process. It lags on for another year. I don't see them being a player. Then I look at the Detroit Pistons, what they've done during the offseason. JB in his second year. Cade Cunningham really looks good now, doesn't he? Doesn't he really look comfortable in a Pistons uniform? In a couple more years, he'll be out the door. They won't be able to keep him. But they got a nice team. They had a Duncan Robinson yesterday, good shooter from the outside. They got a nice team. Detroit's got a nice team. And they made great strides this past year under JB. Then I look at the Chicago Bulls, who just can't seem to put it together. Can't seem to put it together. Not a team that I'm afraid of. Then there's the Atlanta Hawks. Pretty good draft. Pretty good free agency. But how serious are they? Will a team like the Atlanta Hawks ever go into the tax, if need be, to really want to go win a title? They got some pieces. Don't get me wrong. They got Trae Young. He's leading it. And then I look at the Orlando Magic. I say, Desmond Bane. They've got Vaudner. They've got Jalen Suggs. Who's the other young kid they've got? I always forget this guy's name from the Orlando Magic. It drives me nuts. Guy can be a Cavalier killer, by the way. Goes and gets his own shot, plays great defense. How can I not remember his name? I'll get it here during the break. Pablo Vancaro. I knew I'd get it. Orlando could be a player. So we're looking at Orlando, Atlanta. Boston's going to be down. Indiana's going to be down. I don't trust Philly. Detroit's going to be good. Chicago, don't trust them. Washington, forget it. Brooklyn, forget it. Milwaukee, I think, could end up being a mess. I think. Oh, and here come the Cleveland Cavaliers. Could we now look at this situation now and say, okay, maybe you could actually get away with running it back with what you have and make a shot at the Eastern Conference Championship? 3 months ago, I'd have told you no. 2 months ago, I would have told you no. But these Achilles tendon injuries that are doing some bad things to some pretty good teams, and now a coaching change in New York, and Indiana doesn't want to go into the second apron. Now you're without Halliburton. All of a sudden now, the wine and gold, the Cleveland Cavaliers, might be able to run this party back, and they might be able to get there. Now, you're not ready to beat Oklahoma City. You might not be ready to beat the Houston Rockets. You might not be able to beat Denver if you get to the finals. I think those are the three of the really good teams right there. They got really good. They got much better. But you might be able to walk it back with the same cast of characters and just hope and pray with every ounce and every fiber of your being that they will be mentally and physically tougher and want to be hungry and want to go get the prize. That's what you can hope for. They didn't really do anything. You got Lonzo Ball. You got rid of Okoro. You cut ties with Imani Bates. You brought in Larry Nance Jr. You're going to be without Darius Garland for a little while. They got a move or two left in the tank? Or the way the East is now, is that good enough for the wine and gold to make a little run? Free agency isn't done yet. I think we've just hit a little bump in the road, a little blip on the screen. We'll see if something happens here in the next 4 or 5 days. That's kind of where I'm at with the Cavs. That's okay, though. That's okay. Another year of Kenny Atkinson. New look staff. Kenny lost about 2 or 3 assistants. He had to bring some new guys in. Jawad Williams, former standout at Lakewood St. Edwards. Used to play for the Cavs back in the day. He's on the staff with Kenny. Got some good guys in there. They're ready to go. We'll see how it all plays out, but it should be another fun season. But I still think there's going to be a big move in the NBA coming up here before the end of the week. Just not completely sure what or who it is. All right, we're coming up on 5:48 here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Thoughts, comments, 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. Your thoughts on the Diddy verdict today. A, are you happy? B, surprised? C, not surprised? D, disgusted? We can get into that. Guardians, Cubs tonight, game 2 of that 3-game series. Mike Brown, new head coach of the New York Knicks. Malik Beasley continues to get in even more hot water with the gambling allegations. We'll keep our eyes on that. Walsh University, congratulations to them. They are adding swimming and diving to their sports programs. They'll be getting underway here 2026. Also want to thank R.J. Van Almen for coming on today to talk about the Kansas City Schools and Kent McKinley's inaugural Hall of Distinction class. Appreciate R.J. coming on here to talk about that as well. We'll take a break and come back. It's 1310 WDPN and AM1310WDPN.com.
Did you know you can have high cholesterol without any symptoms? High LDL or bad cholesterol can have a big impact on your cardiovascular health, increasing your risk of a heart attack or stroke. Reduce your risk by knowing your LDL cholesterol level and working with your doctor on a treatment plan. Lowering your LDL cholesterol today can help you enjoy a healthier tomorrow. Visit the American Heart Association at heart.org/LDL to learn why lower is better.
I think we can all agree. Over the last few years, things have gotten weird.
Weird, confusing, and at times pretty scary.
And for our kids, these things can be overwhelmingly stressful and can increase the risk for mental health problems as they grow.
But there's so much hope.
Scientific research and real-life experience
tell us that the number one antidote to stress is authentic, trusted relationships.
So that's why I.
That's why we.
That's why I am committed to building and maintaining a trusted space.
For the students I influence every single day.
Until schools across the country
can proudly call ourselves a trusted space.
This is 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 a trusted space.
Access free films and resources to build trusted spaces in your schools and communities at atrustedSpace.org.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below. You take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Got about 9 minutes left until the top of the hour. Get you the latest news and the weather coming up with Jeff Mears. And then put you back into your unforgettable favorites right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Don't forget to check us out on all of our social media platforms. You know where to go. AM 1310 WDPN on your radio, on X, on Twitter, on Facebook. Of course, the Q92 radio page on YouTube. Make sure you stop on by. Give us a like, a share, drop us a little comment, let us know what you're up to this week and the rest of the weekend. I got a feeling tomorrow is going to be a very quiet building. I think it's going to be very quiet here tomorrow. And tomorrow's only Wednesday. Or is today Wednesday?
No, today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. So it'll be very quiet tomorrow. Obviously, it'll be eerily quiet on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be off for the holiday. But, yeah, I think tomorrow's let me see if I can maybe scrape a couple of bucks up tomorrow, and maybe I'll have lunch delivered tomorrow.
I mean,
what do you want tomorrow?
I don't know. That was on my list. I'm sure I'll be doing that. So I don't ever plan that far ahead on food.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You and Mears don't plan anything
like
ever.
No, I'm very in the moment.
Holy cow.
I've tried, you're always talking about the future and it gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
It's so
when
weird.
I talk about the future, it's usually it's like I'm worried about the end coming.
I know.
Because I used to be, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm still that way a little bit, but a lot of the times I worry about down the road, and I'm thinking, hey, man, just worry about today.
Yeah.
Seize the day. Carpe diem. It's all about today. Worry about tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Our 3-question Thursday edition of the show. Join us tomorrow at 3. We'll get you ready for the big 4th of July weekend. I know DJ Rainsberg will have some great music for us tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. I wonder if the boss would let me bring in the super duper grill, put it out in the parking lot tomorrow. Fire that bad boy up, a little Kingsford charcoal.
I don't see any problem as long as we don't burn the building down.
No, we'll be outside.
We'll be outside. We're adults.
We'll be good.
We are both adults and we can handle fire.
Yes.
I have lots of experience with fire specifically.
Maybe I'll have my son come out and shoot off a couple fireworks out in the field. Boy, he loves his new part-time job at Phantom Fireworks. Loves it. So he's starting his 3rd night tonight. I've been going down and picking him up at midnight, which is a blast. I'm leaving. Where are you going? It's 11:45. I'm gonna go pick Dylan up. Okay. So he's enjoying that. He's having a blast. I think it's only going to be like seasonal though, so like probably another week and that'll be it. But he's enjoying it. He's having a good time. Really,
my brother did that when he was like 19.
Yeah,
and just setting up fireworks, blowing stuff up. It's a dream job.
Are you? Is it too early for me to ask what you're doing on the 4th? You gonna go check out some fireworks shows or anything? Or?
It is too early.
It's too early. Oh my!
Because it's not the 4th yet. I'm gonna get up on Friday. I'm gonna text all my friends, be like, "Hey, who's doing what? Where do I bring the food today?" So, living in the moment.
Gotta get
Sam.
you a calendar.
No, I have a calendar on my phone. It's got a bunch of old events in it from 10 years ago with like birthdays and stuff.
Holy cow! Where's everybody going this year for fireworks? What do you say? 330-821-1310. We can get into this tomorrow, but might as well start a day early. We're going to go to, I mentioned we're going to go up to Canal Park Friday. Check out the Rubber Ducks. They're going to have a great fireworks display. The city of Akron's having a great fireworks display. We're going to go down to the Monument tomorrow night, and partake in those festivities. I know Silver Park over here in Alliance is going to have a great display. They always do.
Have you ever seen the display at Lake Mohawk?
No.
That one's great.
No, I haven't.
I haven't been there for quite a few years, but back in the day when we did go, it was there was always a 50-50 chance that they'd set the field on fire with the fireworks, which was, it's like going to a NASCAR race to watch the car accidents.
Right.
You're like, there's a good chance something cool is going to happen beyond the coolness of the fireworks. So,
wow.
That's always, I don't know if that's still a thing. Don't quote me on that. It's been a very long time, but that was the thing back in the day.
Yeah, I've never done Lake Mohawk. I've seen fireworks over at Lake Cable. We've seen them at Disney. Was lucky enough for, I don't know, maybe a 7 or 8 year period. We were invited over to Glenmore to watch them over there. We've had our own. I guess you would call them fireworks shows at home. Not this year though. We shot a couple off for Dylan's birthday the other day, but this year on the 4th we're gonna go elsewhere. Maybe we'll start that up next year again. But I love fireworks. There is something about the whole state of Ohio is like cuckoo for fireworks.
Oh yeah, it's
like
4th of July week right now.
There's some states that are like, oh, okay, big deal, fireworks, okay. In Ohio, man, a fireworks display, whether it's at a sporting event or if it's 4th of July or if it's Hall of Fame weekend, it's like people have never seen fireworks before. But they're awesome. What is not to love about a great fireworks display? When they're done right, whether they're even synced up with music or not, to me, doesn't even matter. I love it. And I will always get to a fireworks display, especially on the 4th of July. And now that they're legal most of the year at different times around the holidays, man, I'll go watch a display anywhere. We went down to the Greek Festival a couple of weeks ago. We watched them down there. We'll check them out at the Hall of Fame. We'll see them this Friday. I can't get enough of fireworks. Call me crazy. I love them. I absolutely love them. You say, oh, you've seen them once, you've seen them all. No, you haven't. They're always coming out with new ones.
Yeah, there's always new fireworks being made.
There's always new ones.
Like
There's always
shapes.
New names, creative packaging that's real attractive to the eye. Oh, I got to buy that. I got to have that. Can't beat it, man.
This one has a picture of a nuclear bomb on it. I want that one. I want the one with the biggest explosion.
I used to be afraid of those. And now, what are they, M80s? Or what are the M100s? Those are like illegal. I love fireworks, love loud noises. No wonder I can't hear. Folks, you ought to see what the level of volume is in my headphones right now. It would make your ears bleed.
The good news is my best friend keeps 2 giant subwoofers in the trunk of his car, so my hearing is also pretty shot at this point. So we're not that far apart.
Got to shout out my guy Lee Foster, courtside with Sammy B and Lee. He just sent me a message. Hey, we're over at the Hood. Come over for a burger. Over there on State Street, the neighborhood. Boy, they got some of the best burgers in Alliance, man. They are really good. I'm going to have to stop by there. See, here you go. Here we go. All right, you hear Phil in the background. It's about that time. Thanks to Ryan Rainsberg. Great job today, partner. Thanks to everybody who called in and texted and emailed and commented. Appreciate you joining us here on the radio and on all of our social media platforms. And we will do it all over again tomorrow, beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, go Guards, go Bucks, go Cavs, go Browns. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Seems so